All right, here we are with top 5 junglers. So let's get into it. Here we're gonna start with honorable mentions, and honorable mention is gonna go to Pele personally because I think she is worthy-ish of being in the top 5 once like some of the people come down. But the main reason why she's out of the top 5 is just because she dies very easily once she's in. Like, as Pele, you know you're gonna die if you're going to ult into the team fight. Most likely, 9 times out of 10, you're probably gonna die if it's a very competitive game. So ultimately, that's why she's not top. But early game, she's very good at dealing damage. She has a lot of damage, some of the highest DPS in the game, just because of her ultimate and her one and how many tick damage she can have going at one time. So for that reason, she is in the honorable mentions. So now let's get into the road tier list. Not tier list, but just official rankings. Number 5, we're going to be having a Willix. Now, some people think Willix is a little bit higher on the tier list. I don't really particularly think she's that much higher because I think everyone else just out-pressures her, and I think the game is mainly about pressure. But Willix is number 5, mainly just because her damage is very high, but her ultimate is hyper-specific. So if you don't have a good team comp, or they're not playing a team comp that you counter, it can be a little bit hard to get your ultimates off, and then you're gonna have to start using your ultimates as, you know, just the bonus damage that you get from your ultimate, like the attack speed and the bonus attack, and the knockup immunity slash root. I'm pretty sure it's root immune and slow immune too. But right, so overall, that's probably why she's not ranking higher than other people. But the good things about her, she has high mobility. Her Jaguar in the jungle, her jungle clear is very fast. She has a lot of CC, especially if you do get the ultimate off, and you do have the possibility of building Jade Scepter to just get her ultimate off easier. Same thing building the boar, so you can even dash in with the boar, or you can dash in with your Jaguar, and then you can always have an option to get out. Those are possible, while also the boar giving her a knockup. So all things to consider when you're playing a Willix, but mainly she's here just because I think the other junglers out pressure her a little bit in the 1v1, so they had just more pressure to clear her lanes and her jungles. So yeah, that's what it's going to be. Okay, coming in at number 5 is going to be Hercules, in my opinion, or number 4, excuse me. Hercules is going to be at number 4. I don't think he's as good as he used to be. I don't know why particularly he's not as good as he used to be, because he only got like 20 damage nerf off everything, more or less. Overall, he got 20 damage nerf, so it's nothing crazy. I just think it's the repeated hits to him that have nerfed him down from where he was from the top. And also he does his heal, which I think was the main part of why he was so strong, did get nerfed before, to where only tank Hercules really gets the same amount of healing, and if you're a full damage Hercules, you're not getting as similar of a heal. It's a little bit less. But overall, he's still very strong. One of the most top pressure gods, probably the second best 1v1er on this list. I think there is one better, but just in general, team fights late game, it's pretty much just a matter of, can you hit your 2? And if you can hit your 2, you might get a kill, you might not. But you're putting yourself in a bad position to where if you get CC'd, you're dead, especially if you're going full damage Hercules. Bruiser Hercules, on the other hand, is still very good out of the soul lane. I think he's still one of the best soul laners, and I just think he's fallen a little bit from that top spot compared to the other people on this list that have a lot more safety in what they do and a lot more late game viability. Because if he gets to late game and he's not ahead, Hercules can just feel like he's stuck and just kind of a role player on a team instead of being the superstar of the team. Okay, coming in at number 3. Now this was pretty contested between 2 people. It was either going to be Achilles or it was going to be Fenrir. Those are around 2 that I'm wrestling with. I think you can think of who the number 1 dog is. Probably one of the top people banned in rank. But for number 3, I had to give it to Fenrir. And the reason why Fenrir is so high on this list is the bruiser build. I have been seeing it rampant in rank, and it's just a free win. You go cooldown items, you do 1 damage item maybe at the beginning, either Avenging Blade or my personal favorite item, especially I mainly build in 4 damage. I don't really like bruiser builds. I think it kind of takes some of the fun out of the game. Sometimes I'll go bruiser if it's like off meta. I just find playing bruiser overall more so not fun if it's coming from the jungle. I just don't think junglers should be bruisers most of the time. It shouldn't be the top thing that is always good. And it's been that way for quite a little bit of time now. But sidetracked it. Fenrir can go bruiser, he can go auto attack, and he can go ability base. So he has 3 builds. probably the most versatile jungler right now, just because his 3 procs in hand attack, or in hand basic attack proc items. So you do have the possibility of going auto attack, bruiser, ability bruiser, where you're just mainly playing for your ultimate. I've even seen people use aspect in jungle, which I think can be pretty valuable for the auto attack and the bruiser build, just because of how much CC it gives. Especially if you have a setup mage like Raw, you can just Raw can literally ult off your 3 and not even need hard CC because of how much it slows them. It slows them by like 50 or 60%, something crazy like that, to where you feel like you're not moving. Now, a lot of time, the reason why I mainly put him slightly under Achilles is I just think it's a lot easier to counter a Fenrir in terms of his ultimate. A team-wide beads can really help, but a lot of the time you don't see people building that team-wide beads. It's a lot harder for a Fenrir to engage if they do build it, but most of the times they're not building it, so I think he can skate by usually without it. But most people in general are going to go a beads relic, especially right now since they're doing the combat blink trials, and hopefully they get into a good spot with it, because right now combat blink is really bad, just because, or it's not a combat blink, it's regular blink, and it's at 30-second less of a timer than combat blink. Like, well, I don't even get the point with that experiment, but that's a sidetrack. Then we're number 3. Now coming in at number 2 is Achilles. Why I put Achilles slightly higher is in the 1v1 between these two too. Achilles is just going to beat Fenrir. Fenrir has a brutalize that's very easy to anticipate, easy to interrupt. That's the majority of his damage in the jungle. So if he's full damage, he automatically loses. Fenrir is probably the only thing that can really contend with Achilles, but Achilles just does ridiculous amount of damage if you build him full damage. He has 3 can practically one-shot you with auto 3, right? And then your auto can execute range, or just need a stroke stun and another auto. So his basic hit alone can wipe someone off the map within a sumo combo. And secondly, if you go prots on him, which I think you should, in the jungle, I think prots Achilles is better than aspect Achilles, weirdly enough, just because the prots make you so much tankier, and you don't even have to build a tank on him. You get 44 or 45 prots from that one shield, from his passive, and 100 or 200 something health. That is insane. Your effective health is around, you're adding another effective health of probably like, what, 44 prots on top of what, your 70, so 100-ish, around there. You're getting another 50%, so you're probably getting another effective 400-ish health, 500-ish health. Especially if you're activating your 2, that is also helping you reduce damage and has CCR, all these things. I think that's also something else you need to factor in when you're going Achilles. Be sure that while yes, you get more damage on your 3 and you're able to actually do the one-shot combo with his base kit, sometimes it is just more valuable to survive in later game team fights, especially if you're not just dominating the match and rolling. But most times than not, you're going to be rolling. And also another good thing about him is Execute, one of the 3 characters in the game right now of Execute. And it's just valuable, especially in a bruiser tank meta. It's not really a tank meta. I think tank build is actually kind of bad. I think bruiser build is good, and I think damage build is okay. I think it goes bruiser, damage, tank build. But even those for the tanks, like the supports, you're going to be able to kill very easily. On ganks, you're going to be able to kill the soul laner better than anyone else. There's a lot of catch up that he has too. He gets bonus speed just from his passive. He gets 2 dashes if he hits you with a spear, and then he also has ultimate that can chase you down. That is Execute, so that is also CC immune. So there's just a lot of good things going his way, so he's gonna be a number 2. And then obviously Thor is just number 1. Look at him and everything he can do. He has global presence almost on a 90-second cooldown, which is insane. One of the highest scaling gods in the game. He just does so much damage right now. Thunderstruck allows him to be even flexing the soul lane, but even in jungle it's really good if you're going an auto attack build, and you don't even have to go auto attack build just because of how much damage it gives you. Sure, you lose a little bit of scaling on your Mjolnir, but in general his aspect gives him more than it takes. Sometimes in general, probably in general it does, especially if you're going a hybrid Thor in the jungle. He can still do one-shot you. He's like a level or 2 ahead. So if you manage to get ahead in your aspect, you're not only tankier, right? You get like 30 prods, I think, from passive, because passive gives you prods after that. You go aspect. So you're not only are you tanky, you're harder to kill. You're now doing freaking AoE autos in a way, and you're having a proc every auto that can also tremble after 3, which is a lot that hits, and I think he still needs nerfs. Maybe not, but I see him banned almost every game. I mean, if he's not banned, he's 99% of the time picked. Just because of one, how good his ultimate is, and two, how good his 2 is, how good his 1 is. I think he's even probably one of the better supports right now. If you want to carry your rank games, it literally is insane. And also his 2 still does damage. It does just a lot less damage, has no scaling. It does like 20 damage, but it still does damage, so it can proc items, right? So overall, it's just kind of insane what he can do. So that's going to be it for this ranking, and I'm probably going to come out next time with a mid laner one, or solo laner one, or carry one, or support one, whichever one y'all want. Okay, peace. Bye.